Hey, what's going on? Using my story once again. It's me, Samuel. We're super excited, like we always are when we have a brand new podcast. Again, we have some great guests with us. We're super excited that one of them is back. He humbles us when he comes in, and he's helping the community, and he's reaching out and doing what we can, bringing attention to substance abuse and mental health, and just that's the goal for what we do here, is to always shine light where there's darkness. So we're going to take a second. We're going to introduce them. So go ahead and take it away, brother.
Yep. So my artist name is Meyta, and I make music to bring hope to people that are struggling. That's me.
Let's go.
Thanks for having me again.
Of course, man. It's always an honor to have you. It'll be the first, second, and then, later on the line, we'll have a third. You're blowing up, by the way, bro. We're super proud of you.
Thanks.
Next, we have, go ahead and take a second, bro.
What's up? My name is Ryan. I used to be a music artist, used to pursue it, used to do R&B music, but now I'm working with mental health clients and substance abuse clients to create songs together and to just express ourselves through music.
Nice. So the topic, obviously, today we have two great musicians with us. So the topic that we're going to talk about is, how is music therapeutic? So we have two songwriters, but we also have two influencers. We have people who love music, love creating music, love listening to music, and the music affects us in different ways. Sometimes, you're having an angry day, I'll listen to some Limp Bizkit and go crazy. And some days I just want to listen to some instrumentals and just hang out. So with that being said, let's just go back, because we did do a podcast with you. But let's talk about, at what age did you start making music, Meyta?
16.
At 16. That's when you found your love for music?
No. At 13, I found my love. But I grew up in a musical family and was always really opposed to the idea of playing music, making music, because that's what everyone else in my family did. And I think I just had a light bulb moment at 16. I was like, oh, I guess I'm not going to be the different child. I think I'm just going to do what everybody else is doing, because this is what I'm made to do. So I laid down my pride.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And how about you, Ryan? How old were you when you started falling in love with music?
I was like 4. I remember I was that kid dancing around the house like Michael Jackson, and then I would get like in bands playing drums, and then started singing, and then really like found my love like writing wise, producing and stuff, like senior year of high school.
Nice.
And then from there on, just
So at 4, you started finding your niche for music?
Yeah.
At what age were you when you started like dropping beats and writing down music? And
Yeah. So writing, producing like senior year of high school. So I was like 17, turning 18.
Okay.
And spent like years just working on it.
So both of you have a story of why you started creating music. So let's talk about that inspiration a little bit. We don't have to go in depth, because we did the first time. And then with you, we'll come back. So what was the biggest inspiration for you, Meyta?
I think for me, I just didn't have anything else that I was passionate about, like music. So I remember I was in choir, and I was in sports, and doing sports was just a drag for me.
Yeah.
But whenever it came to choir, I was like, wow, this is refreshing.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, maybe I should do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah. That's good. I like it.
Yeah.
Very simple and to the point.
Yeah.
How about you, Ryan?
Same exact thing. I was in choir, high
nice.
school, show choir, singing, dancing, stuff, and then like competing with all that. And then I was playing baseball too. So I was like, was doing kind of both, like the whole Glee thing, right? Like football or baseball player with music, and then just kind of gave up sports. And I was like, nah, like I'm meant to do music, so just pursued it.
So I have a question. I know a little bit ago you said that you were dancing around like Michael Jackson. Can you moonwalk?
Yeah,
Can you?
I can.
No.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, when we're done with this, podcast, we're gonna put that to the test.
Let's do it.
And if you can moonwalk, I'm gonna get you lunch.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Whoa.
Seafood. No, I'm just kidding.
What did you? I think you said hamburger wrong.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
And that was great.
Yeah.
So with writing music and creating music and sharing the music that you guys do, you have such a huge platform too, Meyta, that you're reaching out to a lot of people. Like we just pulled up your video, and like fans are making videos of your music. How can you say that music that you've created has helped you in your life?
How has music that I've created helped me? I think it's given me clearer language for the hope in the situations that I'm dealing with. So I really can. I don't really use music as a place to sulk in my pain. I usually use it as a way to see the hope out of my pain. So I look at it like David writing Psalms in the Bible, where it's like he's writing his situations, and then at the end there's always like that conclusion of like, well, this is where God is in the midst of that. And that's kind of how I look at my music, of like, okay, this is going on, but that doesn't mean that I'm staying in this mentality. And so writing has always been like, this is the hope in the midst of my situation.
Wow, that was good.
Thanks.
That's nice. How about you? Same question, Ryan.
I would say like, it's just like it's a bed for me to like lay on, if that makes sense. Like it's like if I have something that I'm going through, or something that, like a thought of mine, or even just like a melody in my head, to have like a song or like a bed of music, like production, or even just like on the guitar and vocals, like just having that to play in my car, I can sit in it. I can be like, okay, like it has a home for my thoughts. It has a home like to sit in for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like it's like something to rest in, basically.
Yeah.
You know, to get something out creatively to express it.
So this is going to be a question for all three of us. Is, in what way do you believe that music is therapeutic? What would you say, like, oh man, this music is therapeutic, and why?
I think that music can be really anything you want it to be. It can be aggressive, it can be depressing, all these things. But the side of music that I listen to, it's therapeutic because, again, it pulls out the reality of hope in my situation. I think a lot of people, they have different perspectives on life. But for me, I believe that hope is strong and true, and living in a reality of just goodness and peace and joy. Like these are things of attributes of God, attributes of reality. But I think people, their reality is no, depression is my reality and all these things.
Yeah.
So for me, when I go to music, it reminds me of the reality of God,
Nice.
the reality of truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Ryan?
I think there's two ways. There's like the creation, and then there's like the listening part of it. I think the creation, as a creator, you kind of, there's like a process where it's like it's therapeutic at first, and then you kind of struggle to kind of get things out. Like it's never really a smooth process. It's always like there's like blocks, writer's blocks and stuff. So there's like that. But really for me, the therapeutic part was always like the end result of the creating, like playing in my car, like driving, and like having that end result and being like, oh yeah, like I did that. Like it came together, you know, like like finishing the puzzle basically.
Yeah. So like I've listened to, if you go into my Apple Music, I have every genre, right? I have everything from Beethoven's Fifth to Limp Bizkit, Break Something, right? Or I have just some instrumentals that just depends on the type of mood I'm in today. But, you know, there, like you said, Meyta, when you were talking about music can be a lot of different ways, right? You could be having a bad day and you just want to listen to some System of a Down, or, you know, or you're feeling missing your girl and you want to listen to some oldies or whatever it may be. But I think that I tip my hat to music creators, because I'm gonna switch it up, of honest music creators, I should say. Because when you see people who are following the stencil that's put forth before them, I really don't like vibe with that, right? So like, I'm from the old school, man. So back in the day when hip hop was a storytelling, it was always a book to me. It was always, they're telling their story.
Yep.
So for me, that was music, right? And then when you have oldies, they're telling a story.
Yep.
But if you listen to the days, it's just the same thing, repeated, just constant same jibber jabber that there is today.
Yes.
So when I see music like yours, Meyta, or I see yours, Ryan, it's like, bro, like that's music to me. Like I could listen to that all day long, right? Because it's like I'm hearing your story. And in your music, I can hear your struggles and I can hear the hope in your music. And I know that's your goal, right? When you're with the community that you're targeting and the community that you're serving, I should say, not targeting, but serving, right? Because you're bringing hope to these people to say, well, dang, if I made it through this, then why can't you, right? But you're using it a different outlet outside of just verbalizing it or signing into a podcast and be like, oh, well, you know, these people are here and they're talking about it. But you're singing about it. You're dropping beats to this thing and you're like, okay, now I can vibe with this while I'm going on a walk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thanks for saying that.
Yeah, it's good, bro. It's one of those things that I can stay humbled by, because we have to reach people in different ways, because not everybody can be addressed the same way, right? So some people may benefit from a group. Some people may benefit from therapy. But some people may benefit from listening to an album and listening to some music and be like, dang, bro, like, okay, let's go.
That's true.
So it's just really to have that type of mindset that you can't apply the same thing to everybody. it's going to be a game changer, right? Because the more that we treat everybody individually, the better outcomes we're going to have, right?
I think there's like a. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go for it.
No, I was gonna say. I think there's like what you're talking about is the genuineness. You can feel the genuineness, you know.
Yeah.
And that's really what changes people's lives.
Yeah.
Because the heart behind it, people can feel it. Like they may not be musicians, but you can't fool people. You know, like they might not know what it is, but they'll know when it's right. They'll know when it's like the heart behind it's right. Yeah. The genuineness, the spirit behind it. You know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What are you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say I try to put myself in the shoes of the people that I'm trying to talk to.
Yeah.
And I imagine like for me, it's like a 16-year-old kid that's dealing with like these dark thoughts and doesn't feel really a place that they feel understood. I bet their family life is probably hectic and their school life is just probably pressured and all these things. And so I'm imagining like every time I write my music, what would they want to hear? Yeah. And it's the genuinity. It's the I've been through exactly what you're going through. Yeah. And I think oftentimes, like you said, there's different things that people use as a means for therapy. But I think a lot of these kids, they go to music as an escape. And I'm like, what if I put myself in that place, but give them a place of hope in the midst of their escapism? Yeah. And so that's spot on.
It's on point, right? So it's like you guys can make this music that just falls in line with what's being made today and portray something that you are not. Or you can make something that you're speaking from the heart, like, hey, I was broken and I was lost and I was hurt and I was struggling, and still give people hope through that music. That's humbling, because all you're really doing is you're sharing your story. But our stories are so applicable to so many other people. This is one statement I've said to a lot of people. You're going through what you're going through because somebody out there is going to need your help down the line. And that's something that was told to me, and I didn't realize it until I met somebody who was mirroring my life. Wow. And I was like, wait a minute, you made the same decisions I've made. Okay, hold on, let me stop you real quick, because this is going to be the outcome of that. So we go through what we go through to help somebody down the line. Yep. Right? So whether you vibe that through a group, a video, or your music, we're all put here to help each other, right? We're here to pull each other out of the pit, right? Whether it's mental health, substance abuse, just whatever that situation may look like. That's just my opinion.
It's really good.
So I know we've covered a lot in that one question. So this may kind of like reiterate that question. Meyta, what is the goal when you put out a song? What is the goal for your music?
Feel unheard to be heard in their situations, misunderstood to be understood, hopeless to find hope.
Yeah. Because it's like one of those things, like a teenager, and when it takes a village to raise a child, so it's like when you have parents that have raised their children, a lot of times what they'll say is, oh, that's just a teenager. And that's just what a teenager does. I don't think that's true, because if it was, then there would be a handbook on how to be a good parent. Right? Because then that's applicable to every child, and it's not. But the way in the state of the world is today, it's very confusing for children and young adults and teenagers. It's super confusing.
It's true.
There's really no direct line to adulthood. There's so many offsets and so many exits along that path that they can take. So every day they're faced with these decisions. And when you have a mind that's still immature and they haven't grown up yet, they don't know how to regulate, right? So when we listen to your guys' music, or we listen to positive influence music, and they start to get that and they start to see those things, it's just like a light coming on for them. And it kind of like removes the exit off of the road that they were on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, don't ever stop doing what you guys are doing.
Thanks.
Is what I'm trying to say. No matter how bad it may get, or you guys may feel like, oh, it's not doing well. Don't ever let that knock you. Just keep pushing, because people will always want to hear the negative, because the negative is easy. It's easy for me to go around and talk about doing drugs. It's easy for me to go around and talk about all these girls and making money and slanging and being on the streets. But it's hard to be open, and it's hard to be vulnerable, right? So when you're vulnerable and you start catching that audience who's vulnerable, it's gonna you're gonna go to another level. So stay there. Just stay humble. No matter where you guys go with this, but just know that I believe that there's going to be a coming for this music is going to hit another platform. You get what I'm saying? Because this world is so hurt and children are so vulnerable, lost and hurt that they need something like this. They need to hear your music. They need to hear your music because without this type of music, kind of keeping the balance of the weights with the negative and the positive, it's just going to be all negative and we're going to lose a whole generation, man, if we don't have more influencers like you guys.
Yeah, and I feel like there's so much power like in music. Like I feel like as creators, you have like a unique ability to like to set the tone and like to like really like change people's emotions, you know? And so that's why I love what you said about hope, because you know, sometimes like I'll hear songs and there's a time and place for it where it's like talking about depression, like, and people just kind of sit in it, like it ends there. Like there's no like hope, there's no change, you know? So I love what you said about like having hope as like the goal, because you know, you have that power with the songs, and the songs are awesome, you know, to be able to get people in that space that they may not be able to have without a creative means. Like maybe just a conversation, like they've been having conversations with people, but hasn't been like changing them, but a song, just one song or one lyric can change the direction of their life, you know? So I think it's awesome, like that hope is like that message, because you could change the trajectory of someone's life just from that, you know?
Absolutely.
Well, I'm a firm believer that hope triggers faith,
Yeah.
right? Faith for things to change, and things will change. If you got hope, all you need is a little bit of hope. You got a little bit of hope, you can have a little bit of faith. Faith like a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's
come
where I'm
It's
at,
true.
you know?
Thanks.
So right now what we're going to do is, we talked about a little bit before about sharing a song. I know that you created a song with some of our clients, and then you have a new song as well that you wanted to share. So if we can get that, what's the name of that song?
If you only knew.
If You Only Knew. So if we can just jump into that, Jimmy.
If you only knew what I've been through, if you only knew what I've been through, you know that hope is not a fantasy. You know that hope is not a fantasy. If you only knew what I've been through, if you only knew what I've been through, you know that hope is not a fantasy. You know not a fantasy. I didn't think I'd be alive. My depression couldn't hold me down. But even if I turn to dust, then you can put this on my grave. I didn't think I'd be alive. My depression can hold me down. But even if I turn to dust, then you can put this on my grave. Hope is not a fantasy.
Whoa. I like it.
Fire.
That was really good.
Thanks.
So I was watching you both when I was listening to that. I just seen you. Like you went back to that place when you were writing that song.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. You want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure, actually. Yeah. I mean, the lyrics are, if you only knew what I've been through, you'd know that hope is not a fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's basically just saying, like, if you saw my life and saw what I've come out of, you would know that this is not a lie, what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not just living like a fantasy. I'm not living like a movie fairy tale and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually like joyful despite my situation.
Yeah.
And it just like gets me. I mean, this is therapeutic for me. This
Yeah.
is like listening to my own song saying like, hope is not a fantasy. It's a good reminder of like, I can't be hopeless right now.
Yeah.
Side story, I released it a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And it was April 26th. And a few days before the release, there was a guy that DM'd me, and he said April 26th was going to be the day that I was going to commit suicide.
Oh man.
But your song is making me rethink.
Wow.
And that's the reason.
Yeah.
And that's why we do what we do.
And that's why I do what I do.
Exactly. Right? Because it's like people don't really realize like the type of DMs that you get, the type of DMs that we get with people who are like just broken. And it's like, bro, I watched this, or I heard this, or you said this, and it helped me. But we don't take it and we're like, oh, see how good we are? It's just like, bro, we've been there, you know, and we get it. This is why we're able to speak and be open and be totally, completely vulnerable with you. Even though we've never met any of our followers face to face, we've been there. We've lived their story in one form or another, right? But that's heavy, bro. And how did you take that? When
I was like, I mean, back to what you said earlier, and I didn't really touch on it because I was like, I don't know. I mean, it's not super deep to talk about right now, but you talked about how you were saying don't get wrapped up basically in like all the other things, and just remember like who we are and what we stand for and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And that's something I can very much so easily do, is get wrapped up in like comparison of what other artists are doing, or I think comparison's like the biggest one for me, and it makes me belittle my art and belittle what I'm doing. And so when I get a DM like that, I'm like, oh, it's just a reminder of I'm playing a different, I mean, it doesn't have to be a game, but I'm playing a different game than these other people are even playing. Like, I'm playing a game of hope. And so who am I to compare to an artist that's singing about some, like, whatever that's super shallow? Like, you know, like, I think it's good for them if that's what they love. For me, like, I'm trying to impact people that are dealing with mental health. So who am I to compare, you know? And so when I got that message, I was like, it's just a good reminder of what I'm doing, and that the things that I worry about just are not as big as I make them out to be, and I shouldn't be worrying about them.
Yeah, it's humbling. It's one of those humbling things, right? That's why I said, like, it's real easy when people start finding success, no matter what it is that they do. But then it's like you look at, well, why can't I do what they're doing, and what am I doing wrong that I'm not being the way that that person is being? But plainly put, it's because you have a very specific community. And your community is having their own struggles every day. But there you are showing up every day. And you're like, here I am, let's drop another song, and hopefully this one helps somebody. You know, and it's like, you're not putting it out there for numbers, you're putting it out there for hope. That's the difference between you and other people.
Exactly.
So that's golden. You know, and then I'm appreciative of whoever that was that sent you that DM. Shout out to you, man, for reaching out. And, you know, we're proud of you, and we're happy that you didn't follow through with what you said you were going to do. So that's golden. Jimmy, do we have the next one for Ryan?
No, yeah. So, you know, I just started working at Solace recently, and you know, we had this idea for doing music in groups, and so kind of just came in and just thought, like, let's write a song. You know, not really knowing how we're gonna do it, and so what I did was pull out different beats, different examples of like something they're, you know, vibes, and kind of I wanted them to do the whole thing. You know, I didn't want to step in. Originally I was like, let me like try to like put everything together in a way, you know. But I was like, you know what, let's just have, the goal is for them to feel like they express themselves and to, you know, have that result. So they picked the beat, you know, and then we picked the topic, and I basically was like, let's have something based on affirmations, so the I ams, right? Because, you know, some of them were coming in with these depressing songs and stuff, and which are cool because, you know, you're expressing yourself, but this time I was like, you know what? Let's create something upbeat and uplifting because you know it's gonna change the way we feel and it's fun. You know, like let's just keep it light. Let's have fun with it. And so pick the topic, the I ams. So that's what the chorus is, and you'll hear it right now. And then for the verses, I just said, you know what? Everyone write their lyrics on different papers, and we'll put it together. And I'll do my best to compile them and put a melody on it, and then we can do it that way. So
I seen you had the whole setup in that room. They were going at it. So.
Dang.
All right, let's do it.
Season after season, stuck in a loop of constantly trying to become better. Life always ready to throw you a lesson, but with my faith, it will all be okay. I'm never far away. Sorry, I can't stay, so you best behave. I'm sorry you fell down. Please swim, please don't drown. And even if you do, who's to say there's no more you? Am love. I am everything, and I am strong. I'm courageous, and I am smart. I'm spontaneous, and I am love. I am everything. You laugh like I'm crazy, but you don't even know me. You try holding me down, but I'm still wearing the crown. Where am I when you need me? I'll be under this tree. If love is love, then why all the chaos? I'm never far away. Sorry, I can't stay, so you best behave. I'm sorry you fell down. Please swim, please don't drown. And even if you do, who's to say there's no more you? Am love. I am everything, and I am strong. I'm courageous, and I am smart. I'm spontaneous, and I am love. I am everything.
It wasn't long ago I was drowning in my sorrows, couldn't face the day, much less see tomorrow. Now I'm here writing my story, going from glory to glory, as I share his story, carrying my coping skills uptown, downtown. Thank you, Solace, for keeping me around, forever grateful.
Yeah, that was good. Let's go. So, you know, that was one of them that he did. Next time we'll do the other one. But,
yeah, sure.
you know, it
That
was,
was sick.
yeah, you know, and I know everybody that was on that track, and they've come a long way
Yeah.
from where they were. So
Awesome.
that's super dope to hear that and to feel that vibe through that song. Like, I am enough,
Yeah.
you know, which is golden.
That was fire, bro. That's sick.
It's cool. They did it, you know. They put it together. I was
Yeah.
just the vessel, you know.
You're just the guy.
That was cool, man.
Yeah,
I felt that.
that's good.
Shoot.
That's the point. That's the point. So right now what we're going to do is I'm going to give you both a little bit of time just to, like we did last time, Meyta, do you remember? When I gave you that last moment to speak to the community and just give them some hope. Speak from the heart, shoot from the hip.
Oh, I want to go second.
Okay. Hey, I like it. I like it. Ryan,
Say,
go
I wanna
ahead.
say- You know, I think it's really important, like the message we put out, right? I think we could all agree on that. And you know, what you feed yourself is, you know, how you're gonna feel and the outcome of your life. You know, based on who you're around, what you feed yourself, and you know, as if we're gonna talk about creation with music, you know, we have an important responsibility to what we do with that. You know, and so we can use it for evil purposes. We can use it for good. And we see it all. We see it all in the music industry. We see it all with music, with artists. And you know, I could say I've been on both sides of that. So I've seen, you know, some different. I've made different types of music in my past and have changed. And you know, so I see the fruits of doing things for good. You know, and I think just carrying that weight of the responsibility. You know, and I could tell, like, you know, when you make your songs, like I feel that weight, you know, and that's heavy, and that's that genuineness that we talked about. And so, you know, if you make music out there, I think, you know, just take that into consideration, you know, because you can change the trajectory of someone's life with a song, with an album, with your voice, you know, even with the instrument. Like, so it's like we have that responsibility, and I think it's important that we analyze that, and, you know, we make music accordingly. And, you know, and I'm sure what you said, I'm sure you'll touch on it more too, but what you said about how you had that message of that person who's trying to commit suicide and then heard your song, like the weight of that over 1 million views, 1 million followers is like a night and day difference. Like there's meaning behind it, there's purpose, you know? And so if you make music, you know, don't chase the numbers. I know that that's the game, but don't chase the numbers, don't chase the fame, because it's shallow. Like you said the word shallow too, and I agree. And so, you know, it's the impact. That's what matters the most.
Nice. Meyta?
I guess the theme for me today is hope. So I would say for people that are struggling, that are going through really dark times where it seems like there's not a light at the end of the tunnel, you can use me as the light at the end of your tunnel, because I was in that same place, and you can know that it's actually possible to get out, because I'm standing here today, or sitting here today, with a smile on my face. I have all the reason to be mad and upset and angry at the world, but I'm actually happy and joyful, and that's because I've found hope. So you can find it too.
Awesome. So again, guys, my name is Samuel. You know, thank you, Meyta, for coming out. Ryan, thank you for joining us. Make sure you guys follow Meyta. Check out his music. Again, my name is Samuel. Reach out, let us know. You guys can find links in the body if you guys need help. Slide into our DMs, let us know. And again, you don't have to do it alone. We've been there. All right, we'll see you guys next time.